everyone. Well, would you believe it's 6 weeks today since I broke my ankle? I don't know where the time's gone, but I've got some really good news for you. Yesterday I went to see the surgeon, who was very pleased with the way the bone's healing. As a consequence of that, I can now start to partially weight bear, so stand on my own 2 feet for the first time in 6 weeks. And not only that, he's so pleased with the way things are going, he's actually discharged me. So no more trips back to the fracture clinic for me. And unless anything goes wrong, then he'll be happy to see me again. Or alternatively, unless I want the metalwork taking out and removing in about 12 months' time. Apparently I have quite a big plate in my foot. On the left-hand side of the ankle, there's a plate with 5 pins, and on the inner side of the ankle there's a plate, or rather there are 2 pins. And so far I haven't really noticed them in terms of feeling them, but as I've started to weight bear a little bit over the last 24 hours, I do feel a little bit of rubbing, but I'm sure that will go away with time. I'm probably more conscious of it because it's something that I haven't noticed before. So yes, onwards and upwards. I did see the physio the day before. I felt that he'd prejudged me a bit because he was surprised, I think, to see me in a wheelchair. It was a very wet day. I didn't want anything to go wrong. Didn't know how far I'd have to hop about, so we decided to take the chair. And I think when he saw me in that, he might have thought, oh dear, you know, this lady's got a long way to go. But he told me to hop up on the bed and have a stretch of my feet, to have a look at the range of movement, and I could just tell by his expression that he was really quite surprised at how well I did. So funnily enough, both him and the surgeon said, "You've been practicing." Sure have. So yeah, all good. I'm going to be under the physio for about 9 months. I did say to him, would I ever get to a point where I can trust the ankle again? And he said, well, certainly hope so, because if you can't do that, then I haven't done my job properly. So I think I must be quite a difficult patient, because I'm starting to think of goals that I want to achieve already. So I was saying to him, you know, I've got an allotment, you know, in March I've got to be able to kneel down and plant all my seedlings in the ground. And he sort of had to think about it, and then he said, oh well, end of March we might have you pottering about on the allotment. But the good news is, where I go for my physio, it's a hospital called Wrightington Hospital. It's quite a famous orthopaedic hospital in our area of the northwest. They treat a lot of footballers there with injuries and, you know, sports people. So when you go into the reception, there's all football shirts, rugby shirts, all emblazoned on the walls. But they have a pool there. Now, I was asking him about swimming, and I wouldn't really feel confident enough at the moment to go to a pool and, you know, walk along the poolside and get in the water. So he has said that in the coming weeks or months he would take me into the pool, and obviously we could have a little bit of water therapy there, which would be fantastic. So I think I've just got to count my blessings, and thank you so much to everyone for all their interest. It's really strange. In some ways, when I look back, it feels like it's a long time. When I think about the Thursday I broke my ankle, it does seem ages and ages ago. But on the other hand, it only seems like yesterday. What I thought was going to feel like a lifetime hasn't really felt like that. And I think it's because it's given me the time to spend just coming to terms with things. And obviously a lot of that time I've spent on YouTube, following all you guys and picking up as much information and as many tips as I can, which will bring me to something else in a minute that I want to cover with you. Well, one thing I will say, so of course yesterday we came back in the car from the hospital, and I was raring to go. I think Johnny was like, kept looking at the ceiling thinking, oh my God, what's she going to do now? And he went into the house and got the Zimmer frame, and he brought it outside, and I thought, right, here I go, you know. Oh my God, I stood there for, I don't know, half a minute thinking, how do I do this? How do I walk? And I think then you start to overthink it. Part of the problem, I guess, was that I was trying to walk as you would normally, where you take one step and then your next stride overlaps your first one, and you know, one foot in front of the other. Well, of course, that's not how you do it, really. So I then had to think about it, take a step back, and I felt like I was on a rocking horse because the boot isn't flat, but of course I haven't really known that because I haven't been putting any weight on it. So I felt like a real hobbledy horse walking back from the car to the house, and then of course got to the front door and couldn't get in. So we had to pull up a chair, and I had to sit on the chair and then stand up again. So, you know, I've got a lot to learn. I've still got quite a way to go, but I'm on the right side of it. And thank you once again. Thank you for all your support and your kind comments and all your concern. It's been great. So, moving on. Just recently, over the weekend, I've been watching Tony of UK Here We Grow, and I was particularly interested in the Chilli challenge that he set up with Sean from, I think it's Chilli Chump. So I've been watching that, and I was quite interested to learn that they are both going to be growing their chilies, is it hydroponically? And Sean was quite good because he introduced me to some materials that were up for sale in IKEA, and he said they weren't very expensive, so I googled it. Anyway, on what day? Tuesday, when we were coming back from the physiotherapist, we actually called in IKEA, and I managed to buy the nursery box, and then these little Rockwell like capsule pods. So I've actually started. I've got my peppers and I've got my chilies, and I'll show you in a second. They're all soaking in tea, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to pop them in the nursery box, and then it's off I go. I'll be then turning the kitchen into a potting shed. I don't think Johnny's going to be that enamoured with it, but well, you'll have to live with it. So yeah, isn't it exciting? That's what I'm going to do, and I'll show you in a minute, show you this way exactly what I've been doing today. So yeah, check out Tony and Sean and have a look at the challenge that's going on between them, and I find it really quite good. Well, I suppose you'd call it television, but I did enjoy it, so I'll be following that avidly from here on in. And then I think I'd like to say a shout out to one of my really favourite channels, and it's called the Kingston 8, and I'll put a link in my little box to the channel. It's run by Sharon Bennett, otherwise known as Shaz. It's the most relaxing, beautiful channel, and I think it's been a perfect watch for me in the last few weeks whilst I've been recuperating from my injury. I'm learning so much. I mean, you know, my age, I'm learning about Mother Nature, but it's wonderful. So obviously she's keen to let us know what's happening with the seasons, and we've just celebrated Imbolc, which is Candlemas, and she's put together a series of really beautiful, relaxing vlogs that are informative, but also they're filled with her artwork, which is absolutely stunning. So please, I ask you to go and pay a visit to Shaz's channel, the Kingston 8, and enjoy some of her really serenely beautiful vlogs, and subscribe to her, and you know, I'm sure you'll enjoy them all as much as I do. Quick look at I've been doing today. So here are the sweet chilies. So I've got Red Skin, Thor, California Wonder, Carno, Di Toro, Giallo, Lunchbox, which I'm going for Alice, and then just a few of the chilies that I'm going to sow. Currently soaking in tea. I've got the Hungarian Black, Cayenne, Cyclone, and then I've saved some of my own seed from the Ring of Fire chili, which I grew last year. And then here's the equipment that I got from IKEA. So these are the little pods, and they go into this nursery box. So underneath the cells there's like another tray, and you fill it up to there with water. And the system is called Vaxa, and I think altogether I would say under £10.